Please be ready for a dictation of part 2 of the Lok Sabha debate dated 15th May 1952, taken from the website of Lok Sabha. 5 seconds. Start. I believe that if some backbenchers, and there is no dearth of backbenchers on their side, had been selected for proposing your name, that would have been the proper procedure to emphasize your impartiality. I do not want to say any platitudes. Unfortunately, I belong to this side of the house, and I use the word unfortunately because we have to fight against the steamroller of the Congress. There are so many victorious leaders of the victorious party here, and it is not unusual that the wine of victory goes to their heads and the minorities suffer. It will be your function, your most noble mission to preserve our rights and safeguard our privileges. I have no hesitation in saying that you would stand up to our expectations. I can assure you, sir, on behalf of myself and some of the members who are sitting on this side, that we shall be entering many a battle with the party in power, but in fighting these battles, we shall observe all the rules of the game. But the observance of the rules of the game is not a one-sided affair. It is not a one-way traffic, and I do also hope that the other side, though sure of their might or strength, shall show greater tolerance and consideration than they usually do. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the honorable members belonging to the Communist Party, the single largest party in this parliament, on this side, I heartily greet you and congratulate you on this occasion because you have been elected as the Speaker. The old parliament which you and piloted till now as the Speaker was different from the new one, which reflects in good numbers young and new people belonging to different parties, groups and individuals. Sir, conventions and traditions are created for the convenience of the people and to suit circumstances, and I hope that the conventions and traditions that had been created so far will be changed according to circumstances. When once you are elected as Speaker, you belong not to any single party, but to all of us. You belong to us all the moment you have been chosen to occupy the honorable chair. I trust, Mr. Speaker, in discharging your great responsibility, you will certainly see that the minority party inside the House, as also the new people, as the Prime Minister said, who do not know the rules of procedure nor much about parliamentary procedure here are treated with sympathy. As far as we are concerned, I assure you that you will have our fullest cooperation in the discharge of your duties. But we wish to tell you that though we are in a minority, we represent a large number of people and interests outside this parliament, and as such, you will be pleased to safeguard our interests and privileges and see that in order to strengthen democracy in this country, as far as possible, the opposition parties as well as the privileges of all the members of this house are safeguarded. You will see that a new tradition and convention is created by you, so that we may feel that here inside this parliament our privileges and rights are safeguarded, and that a new era is beginning after the elections through adult franchise. I assure you once more of our fullest cooperation in the discharge of your duties, and we heartily congratulate you once more and recognize you as one who will safeguard our interests here. I greet you and congratulate you, promising you our fullest cooperation in the discharge of your duties. Mr. Speaker, may I join in the tribute which has just been paid to you and the felicitations offered to you. You are not new to this great office. In fact, when the history of the constitutional development of India is written, your name will occupy a unique position. You were the last speaker in the old Indian Legislative Assembly, to which you were elected through the votes of the opposition, defeating the official candidate of the day. You were the first speaker in the provincial parliament, and although that house came to be composed indirectly and not through direct election, yet it fell to your lot to establish conventions and traditions for the proper growth of democratic life in free India. And today you have been installed in office again as the first speaker of the first elected house of the people of free India. We shall be passing through difficult times, but I have not the least doubt that the dignity and the rights of the members of the House will be safe in your hands. No doubt, we shall draw upon the rules and conventions whenever necessary from the great House of Commons, but I believe in our country circumstances will arise from time to time which may necessitate a change in the conventions which might be accepted in other countries stop.